Coffee Pot Conversations.
A new year, a new season, a new logo, a new way of doing things. Same no direction. Bonjour et bienvenue to Coffee Pot Conversations, the podcast that gives you something a little bit different of Paris. My name is Paul, and I'm here to help you experience the city like a visitor, not a tourist. So, grab yourself a coffee, settle in, let's discover Paris together.
Coming up on Coffee Pot Conversations.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Pot Conversation. Yes, my name is Paul and this is the beginning of Season 3. So it's Season 3, Episode 1 or Episode 3.1 as it's going to be called. So what's new? What's happening? Well, this is the beginning of Season 3 as I've just said, and this is a different way of doing things for me. As you can see if you are watching on Spotify or YouTube, I don't know what's happening with Apple Podcasts at the moment, you'll see a video of me walking down a street in Paris. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. I think it's Rue de la Roquette up in the 11th or crossing the 11th. I've more than likely just come out of Père Lachaise Cemetery. Anyway, so it's a video because that's what I'm trying to do for this season. So what will happen is I will do the beginning parts. The structure of the podcast will be the same. It will be me doing this and then following a little bit of news, and then I will go into the main conversation section, follow it up with a conclusion, and then coming up for future episodes. Back in November of 24, I went on an overnight trip to Paris, and Season 3 is pretty much me covering that. What I wanted to do was sit on Eurostar, book the hotel, and do it almost like it was an impulsive day trip, which it sort of was. I had only booked the train ticket, I hadn't booked the hotel. Not a problem. So I was going to do that on the train and make that an episode of how to book a hotel for Paris. It didn't. Well, I'm not going to give away what happened. That's for the season. So what I did want to happen was sit down in a cafe, recording myself doing a podcast episode, have people go, oh yeah, what are you doing? And I'd have interaction with them, and then I'd talk to them and learn out what's going to take place, all the whilst having a camera sitting, and you would see what's taking place around me on terrace. This Season 3 is what took place for my overnight stay. So I got a early Eurostar out and sort of late afternoon Eurostar back the following day. It was a Thursday through to Friday. As I say, normally I'm going to be doing the news, but because it's the first one, I probably won't. Although I will say actually that we had a train stuck in a tunnel. That was Christmas, so that must have been fun for those wanting to go to Paris or have connections further out. And they've commissioned a second season of Paris Has Fallen, so that's going to be exciting. So just before we continue with the main episode, just to let you know that, yes, it's on video, so you will be seeing things such as what you're looking at now. If you're watching the video, it's not related to what I'm talking about. This is just filler. It's not quite B-roll, which is what I wanted to do, which is where you do those, in between scenes. So much was taking place at the time. What you will get is views of Paris. So that's when I'm not doing my regular spiel, the conversation part in the middle. During that, it will be almost like a live recording. It was recorded as I was doing it, but then I also added bits during the quiet times. For those that are listening on Apple Podcasts or Podbean, where you don't get the video, you just get the audio, or you're sitting in your car and your phone's on, but not watching it because you're not allowed to. So I couldn't just have the Paris background sounds in the background. I wanted some filler bits. Yeah, you will hear some background noise, but during these sections where I am giving the news or giving you the what's coming up, there will be these random shots which may end up being reused and recycled depending on how many I've got. That's all to be found out because I haven't actually quite finished all of Season 3 yet. I've just this one. and a little bit of the next one. So I sort of half know what's coming up, although I know exactly what's coming up because I was there when I was filming it all. But I'm going to break it down for the whole season. Episode 3.10 will be the best bits, and that's going to be fun. So anyone watching, smash out your comments on YouTube. I'll pick them up. Spotify, I still don't know how that works. But that being said, I did get a special comment from Nev for Christmas, which was a special edition. That was just for me to see how the video works. I've still got to do Apple Podcasts. I don't know what they're doing. I may just leave it with Spotify and YouTube. I don't know. This is all, as always, organic. So for now, I've spoken too much. Yeah, there's no major news as such, although there is, but I'm going to leave it out of this episode. So just to reiterate, we have Paris Has Fallen Season 2 coming out at some point. They have commissioned it. Train breakdown. Oh, there was a fire on the Eiffel Tower, but that was a lift. So at that age, it's sort of kind of expected once in a while things to take place. And yeah, Notre Dame's reopened. And that's pretty much it. So, for those that have fallen asleep from, the beginning to now, just let you know you're going to be watching an overnight stay in November, but you're going to be watching it in theory from January through to May. So you're going to see Christmas scenes within Paris that are well out of season by, however many months it was. Later down the line, for those of you that are just joining in today, wherever you're watching in the future, this is how it was back in November 2024. There will be quiet parts coming up, so apologies for that, but bear with me. I am changing as I go along, trying to do what I think is best and hoping it all fits in. But for those of you that are watching, you can see my little camera there. That's giving you a rough indication of what I may be talking about or filling in blurb as I'm talking about walking down the street. And this is filmed quite a lot quicker than I was actually walking. However, that's me gabbling on for too long. It's now over to Rory.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
And this is us heading off into the deep, dark depths of London. The time is 10 to 5. I have 30 minutes until the train, the tube, London Underground Central Line is ready to depart. Keep you updated. Well, I won't, because this is going to be part of the podcast, so as long as I'm fine doing this all day, jiggity boo. Little view of my view. Yep. Little chilly. You have a quick check. Yeah. Frost on the windscreen. That's great. Not to worry. That is a good example again. Oi. Right, so next view could well be a nice little artistic of the tube. You never know. Anyway, there's a light just covering behind my head, gives me that artistic glow. Marvellous. I'll see you soon. That exciting part is walking up to the tube and not knowing if it is open or not. So it's 5 to 5. Lights are on. And looks like I've got a little bit of weight in my hands. Not to worry, soon be Christmas. So my obsession with being early, punctual, well, early, leads me to a very quiet, desolate underground station. It's not even 5:10 in the morning yet, and it's a little bit eerie and cold, but eerie and cold. So this is what we're looking at. Yeah, an exciting bridge. Check out that. Gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, and here's the bridge. Take it to the bridge. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. It's quite a scary Mary, that one. Look at that. Oh, that'll be a beautiful screenshot. Shame I can't get that. So, yeah, I'm afraid you're going to get a lot of me talking and rambling on. I don't really know how to deal with this stuff. This is more of a vlog than a podcast. I've just seen someone on the other side of the tracks. Oh, scary times. Whew. 2 people, look at that. Hopefully, going to get off at Mile End and take from there. Yep. Dark, desolate view of times ahead. Not long now. And here we are, coming off the tube at King's Cross, St Pancras. Just minding the gap as we go along, taking sign towards the way out. I'm just going to follow the sign to Eurostar. Well, it probably says St Pancras, I forgot to check. I've done it quite often now, but you're just going to find the way out.
You may be aware that the station does smell smoke and may look slightly cloudy in some areas. Due to a fire somewhere outside the station that has filtered down here. There are no concerns and staff are fully aware.
Little worrying hearing about fire in King's Cross, but not to worry. Quick tip, take the left barrier. This one here I've just walked through, it's wide enough to take your luggage through. The big circle with a red light, if it's red, wait a second, it will turn to a yellowy, amber, orangey colour. Then you tap out with Oyster card, pay as you go. Your phone, whichever way you're going to pay, and carry on up the stairs. Sometimes people don't go as quick as you want, and as you change they then run up the stairs. Doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you just get frustrated and swear under your breath. We're going to turn right because that's really the only way out, and we're going to head from King's Cross into St Pancras, which is here now. Ten past, not much, not me. Yeah, that's me just checking the time, and I am running late. However, this lift on the left, keep an eye out for that in a later episode. So just walking through, and got a few shops left and right. The one on the left there is the Ray, yep, the macaron shop. I normally go to the branch at Royal Exchange Buildings, a bank. You may notice a slight bobble on the horizon. It's not the camera. That's my heart pounding because I'm much later than I like to be for this sort of thing. This shopping alright. M&S Food. Used to visit one in Paris, in Paris, in one of the underground sections, the covered walkways. But it's gone now. And now we just move into a very quiet section of the hyperlapse. So what happens is I walk around doing this hyperlapse, which is different to a time lapse and a motion lapse. A long story and amazing technology. However, this hyperlapse is where you move and everything goes a little bit quicker. So that's what's happening. You wait about 20 minutes before your departure time. The gate is announced. You go up and work out where your access point is. They have the first few carriages at the back. The next set, or the remainder of the train, is going towards the front. I am going towards the front. Sometimes it's actually worth going the other direction to cut back on yourself. If you're down the front, that chock-a-block one is chock-a-block. The escalator is full up. Sometimes it's worth going up the other way to then cut back on yourself. It saves a few minutes and just all that aggro of, holding your luggage down a travelator or up the travelator, so it doesn't slide down a travelator. Anyway, I'm walking along here, holding my camera, just walking towards my carriage, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's not very exciting, but it is a walk, and it's a little video transition section from me showing you how I'm going from England to France. I'm now actually sort of in French territory because I've walked through all the passport controls, no cameras there. There was no EES either, but it's all set up already, except for the fingerprint section, but that's due to come. Just minding the way of Chewbacca there, so I'm now going to go this way towards my carriage. And I put my bag up there, you'll notice, and then I've walked all the way. Yes, I walked all the way. Excuse me, thank you. Oh, look where you go, mate. No worries. And I carried on walking all the way to my seat here. But what you don't see is I actually went and got my luggage and put it down the other side afterwards. And that was pretty clever of me. So I had a less travelled journey afterwards, because I didn't want to go all the way one side to the next and then back again. But what I then did was I filmed myself walking all the way through the carriage just to show you what the carriage looks like. And that clanking, that's my water bottle. You may also have heard me singing Formidable. And here we are, just about to step off. Everyone's looking at me like, oh, what's he still doing on the train? He's the last one off. Wait a minute, he's holding a camera. Yep, holding a camera. Can I get off the train, please? I'm in Paris, just as you are. So now, thank you. So anyway, I'm now making my way along the side of the train. It's only one way out, just go with a bit of flow. And that's exactly what happens. And then you have all these security people hanging around, and you feel a bit like, oh, should I show my passport? Do I need the ticket? What is it? They're just there to make sure everything's going tickety-boo. You walk through the gates and then whammo, you're through. And here we are, look, welcome, Paris, Gare du Nord. And you'll see that chap on the right filming someone who's apparently important. You walk through, depending on where you're going, normally it's going to be either out the exit or the metro, which you can see there in the middle of the screen. It's just a set of escalators go down there onto your metro station. If you do need the lavatory, they're also down there. It's about, I think it was €1 last time I went. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I don't know where I'm staying, so I ignore the metro and I continue out through the main entrance / exit. And you know where it is when you see this sign that says, where is it? See that straight in front of you? That's for Five Guys. To the right, little Monoprix. Don't know about that. Here it is, just on the right. These lifts you're going to see later on, possibly if I do remember to record them, and that's going up to the Rue. And now we're out on the main area of Gare du Nord. Huzzah! Now this place in front, I have stayed there. No, I haven't stayed there. I have visited and had a coffee. I've also eaten in a restaurant. I had a coffee waiting for Nev, and I ate in a restaurant with Nev. A different occasion. Well, just left Gare du Nord, walking down Boulevard du Dunay, and I've come up to big junction. Which I'm crossing. It's over there. Aldi. I believe this Boulangerie is the one I went to before the half marathon when I came here with Nev and the boys. We stayed around here somewhere, a bit further down on the right hand side I believe. Might see my sunglasses just suddenly change into my regular glasses change into sunglasses. I'm walking in the bright sunlight looking for somewhere to sit down, a cup of coffee and book a hotel. Now, I'm not really sure which direction I should be walking in, but this is where I'm going. There's been a church here since 550. This is the Church Saint Laurent. The church facade from the 1600s was changed by Napoleon III in the late 1800s. Something that you'll often find in Paris on a lot of streets. La Pharmacie. Rue de Faubourg Saint-Denis. And off we go. C'est une Monoprix. Now this additional rustling you can hear whilst I'm walking is the jacket and bag being picked up directly from the camera. I hadn't set my microphones up at this point, so sorry. Oh, the smells. You walk past the chicken shop. Oh, chicken rotisserie. At where I'm going. Hey. And for those of you listening rather than watching the video, there was a ladder set under the scaffolding that I'm walking through, and if I hadn't have been looking where I was going, the leg of the ladder was sticking out straight into the street. Quite dangerous. I think I feel a bit easier when I've got the microphone switched on as well.
Alors après, il y a 2 mois, non, 1 mois, on utilisait tous les jours.
Not because I'm not used to talking to myself, which obviously I am. Pardon. Merci. But I'm actually recording now. Took a little dink out the bike. Again, for those of you not watching the video, don't worry. There was a motorbike parked there, and as I've turned, my backpack's just caught. It felt like there's a number plate, and it almost looked like there was a chap who owned a motorbike sitting in a cafe that I just walked past. Oops. Now, for those of you not watching the video, just so that now I'm walking down the street and I stopped to let a van pass. I'm walking just past a cafe. There's a couple of line bikes and motorbikes. There's a line bike turned upside down, which is an unusual way to park it, but hey. So one thing you'll know about the line bikes in Paris is that they don't beep when you try and make them ring. Not as fun as when you do it in London, because that's pretty cool when you get people walk past and just make a line bell ding 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 and the lights flash. You catch people unawares. It is exciting. I'm now looking into a courtyard. Always catch a doorway. Oh, there we go. Always catch a doorway. But sometimes you need to move the camera as quick as you move your head, otherwise you miss it. And it doesn't need to be a doorway. Sometimes it could just be the entrance to another street, such as what we've just seen there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the old-fashioned I forgot I was zoomed in. But down the bottom, just a little bit of noise as the man scrapes his trolley with a pallet across the pavement. Anyway, down the bottom that you're not going to be able to see is, I believe, one of the old gates to the city back in the day. Time for a passageway. Again, I just want to apologise to those of you listening on audio rather than video, but this is, well, you'll hear me explain about it in a minute. A little bit of scaffolding laying around, shops with some bits hanging out, and there's also some tables and chairs. Ooh, the smells of the ancient Orient, Indian. Yeah, smells of Indian. Eyebrow threading, Indian restaurant, threading, oop, souvenirs. So just going to come out and hit another passage. This one's going to be open though, which is quite exciting. So this is Passage Bredy, which I shall turn around and try and show you. Passage Bredy. And now I'm going to walk down, without getting run over by the cyclists. So far so good. I'm not going to risk this one though. As you can see, quite a bit of traffic zooming down the road. Dun, 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 dun. But it was. Here it comes. Now the volume of the traffic is being picked up by the internal microphones of the camera that I'm using for the first time in Paris. Very impressed. Now I'm not sure on the rules and regulations of the zebra crossings. So what I tend to do is wait to see if I can run faster than the cars can go. Huzzah. Right, well let's go down this road. I'm not going to take that passage because I'm not sure it was actually a passage. So we're just going to swing around. Once it's got cherry blossom in the back. I think we all know cherry blossom isn't in Paris in November. I'm going to find a street name in a minute. Then we will know where we are. Until that time, we will not. So, the theatre. Theatre Antoine. Oh, we are now on Boulevard de Strasbourg. And I'm going to see if I can follow this car. I don't actually mean follow, I mean follow it with the camera as it's going into an underground car park. It wasn't a very exciting scene. It's exciting, wasn't it? Yeah, that was sarcasm. In pharmacy. 2 pharmacies. And just walk past. There's one over there. And look. It's a little. Another theatre. Théâtre Libre. I wish there was more I could say whilst walking down the street, but there really isn't at this time. It's just me walking down the street, past the theatre. A couple of people walking past. it's just the way that Paris is. Big boulevards and walking. Take a little look at the map. We are there. This is a map of the 10th arrondissement, and it's not very exciting podcast listening. It's not very exciting podcast viewing either, but it's me looking at the map, working out where I'm going to go. It's that gate I was talking about, Port Saint-Denis. Next one, Port Saint-Martin. That's what I'm used to, because I normally end up walking down Boulevard Saint-Martin. So I'm going to try and do that, I think. Right. Now, what you do find occasionally, not very often, are homeless people. Now, this is the 10th arrondissement. They're sort of the more affluent homeless. They can build their homes around what they find on the streets. Still very sad and upsetting when you do see it. But it's a fact of life. It's a capital city. There is poverty, and it has to be expected. This is quite nice. What it is, it's a brasserie, Louisette, and it's got the Instagram pink flowers. Got a bit of pink and white awning outside. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into the brasserie Parisien. Then I'll mic up properly and job done. What I said was I'll mic up properly and then job done, which I think is quite funny because it didn't actually understand what I said when I've listened back about 7 times. Finally cracked it. Bonjour. Oui, une table pour moi. Merci. I had no idea what she said to me, but I kind of answered best I could. I hope that's better. Still feels weird, but here I am. Café au lait. Yeah, café crème. So. Thanks.
Do you want some water?
Oui, s'il vous plaît, merci. Obviously, I didn't mean to say oui, s'il vous plaît. I meant to say oui, s'il vous plaît. Okay, half d'eau. It's really weird not having Diablemont, but I've got to book me a hotel. Need to focus. Here we go. One room, one adult. Today. Checking them out. Third. Ah, merci.
Okay.
Thank you. Look at my face, look at my face. Not it. Thank you.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
Thanks for sticking with me all the way through episode 3.1. It's a work in progress, as have all my episodes been. I'd like to thank the people of Paris for letting me back. And I'd like to thank the company that I'm not going to say supplied the cameras because they didn't really supply them. I had to buy them, and that's DJI. It's kind of elevated where I wanted to go. It saves me having to carry my phone around with the risk of it being snatched or dropped, broken, battery run out. So, I remember this section. This was the grass carpets. That's going to be later on in the season. Just a quick chat there. So for the first, in fact, it's going to be the second time for listening. Yep. Those of you who've been paying attention, you will notice a slight change. However, it's now the second time, but the first time for me asking for it. Time for Jasper's jingle.
Coming up on Coffee Pot Conversations.
We have some more fast walking videos. We have some slow walking videos with me trying to fill time and space between each sentence. And that's pretty much it. It's just going to be the continuation of my overnight trip to Paris back in November 24, and who knows what's going to take place in the interim before my next visit, which, if all goes according to plan, will actually be season 4. And don't forget, everything still applies. If you want a shout out or a quick birthday message to someone, email in shoutout@anenglishmaninparis.blog, or you can even do birthday at anenglishmaninparis.blog. It's all free, everything's free. I make no money. It's season 3 and it's free. Oh, that could be the theme for season 3. 3 things to do in Paris, and that's free as in FREE, not free as in the number 3. So just a quick logo splash and then a little video outro, and then Rory will sing us out. Thanks for tuning into Coffee Pot Conversations today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode. Also, if you have a story from a past trip, a question about your next one, or something you'd just love to share, send an email to podcast@anenglishmaninparis.blog, or message me on Instagram @anenglishmaninparisblog, where you can follow me. Until next time, keep the coffee hot, the pot warm, and the conversation cool.
Coffee Pot Conversations.